Hello to BlueNox channel today, and welcome to this explainer where we will trace the phenomenal rise of the best-selling game in human history. We are going on a high-quality, cinematic journey to uncover exactly how a solitary programmer's weekend prototype transformed into a staggering $2.5 billion empire. An empire that, by the way, has racked up over 1 trillion views on YouTube. It's just wild.
So let's dive right into this cinematic journey covering the complete history and mechanics of a true masterpiece, Minecraft. We're going to explore its evolution from, those really humble blocky origins all the way up to its undeniable status as a global cultural touchstone. If you've ever wanted to understand how prioritizing simple player imagination over hyper-realistic graphics completely disrupted the entire entertainment industry, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. Origins of a blocky world. 2. The alpha and beta era. 3. Survival and creative modes. 4. The Microsoft acquisition. And finally, 5. An expanding universe. Let's get right into it.
Part 1. Origins of a Blocky World, featuring Notch and the Cave Game. Our story actually starts over in Sweden with Marcus Persson, who we all know much better by his developer pseudonym, Notch. Now, looking at this timeline, the development speed is just incredible. Notch started coding a little prototype he literally called Cave Game on May 10, 2009. Just 3 days later, basic block placement and physics were already in the game. By the 14th, he renamed it to Minecraft, and on May 17th, exactly 1 week after writing the first line of code, the first private test version was out. I mean, think about that. A genuine masterpiece was born in just 7 days.
The simple but brilliant one-week sprint really laid the foundation for an entirely new genre. Minecraft essentially crystallized what we now know as the modern sandbox game, an open-ended experience without any strict, linear goals pushing you forward. It just hands you a completely blank canvas where the absolute only limit is your own imagination. You can explore, mine, and build literally anything block by block.
Moving right along to Part 2, the Alpha and Beta era, a time of hyper-growth and community building.
The game's evolution during this period was driven by these chaotic but totally brilliant updates. By early 2010, Notch actually quit his day job to focus entirely on Minecraft. We saw the InfDev phase introduce infinite maps, which was a huge deal, followed by the Alpha phase, bringing us iconic features like the Nether and Redstone through those famous Secret Friday updates. Then, by December 2010, the Beta phase launched to really polish the core experience for a rapidly exploding player base.
All of this rapid, heavily community-driven iteration led to a massive milestone. On November 18, 2011, Minecraft version 1.0 was officially released to the world at the very first Minecon in Las Vegas. And get this, by the time this official release even dropped, the game had already sold over 4 million copies while still in its unfinished state. It was also right around this time that Notch officially passed the lead developer baton over to Jens Bergensten, or Jeb, ensuring the game's continued evolution for years to come.
All right, Part 3, Survival and Creative Modes. Let's talk about the core mechanics.
So the game essentially offers 2 distinctly different ways to play, basically making it digital Legos but with a thrilling twist. On one hand, you have Survival Mode. This is where you have to actually gather your resources, manage your health and hunger, and fight off hostile mobs. On the other hand, you've got Creative Mode, which hands you limitless resources, the ability to fly, and complete invulnerability. You can seamlessly go from battling for your actual life in a pitch-black cave to building these monumental, sky-high structures with 0 restrictions. It's the best of both worlds.
For the daring adventurers out there, that iconic first-day progression in Survival Mode became a universally relatable gaming experience. You know the drill. You spawn in, you frantically punch trees to gather wood, you craft some basic tools, and you desperately try to build a dirt shelter before the sun sets. Because once it gets dark, you're defending against creepers, skeletons, and zombies. It is just a perfectly crafted gameplay loop of risk, reward, and resource management.
Which brings us to Part 4, the Microsoft acquisition. This was the billion-dollar climax of the Notch era.
Behind this massive corporate buyout, there was a very real, very human element. In June 2014, Notch posted this incredibly raw, vulnerable tweet asking if anyone wanted to buy his share of Mojang. He felt like he had unintentionally become a symbol rather than just a programmer making games. It really highlights the heavy human toll that comes with such unprecedented success, ultimately pushing him to seek an exit from the very empire he created.
And man, what an exit it was!
That single tweet caught the immediate attention of several major publishers. By September 2014, Microsoft swooped in and officially purchased Mojang and the entire Minecraft intellectual property for a staggering $2.5 billion. This monumental deal made Notch a billionaire literally overnight and firmly solidified Minecraft's place as a permanent corporate and cultural legacy.
Okay, finally, Part 5, an expanding universe, the start of an infinite legacy.
Under Microsoft's stewardship, this blocky universe expanded far, far beyond its original Java code into a massive multi-platform ecosystem. As you can see, the modern game offers realms for safe, cloud-based multiplayer, a vibrant marketplace for community creations, and Minecraft Education, which is actively teaching STEM and digital citizenship to kids in schools globally. Plus, they branched out into action-adventure spin-offs like Dungeons & Legends. It's huge!
But you know what keeps the community thriving well into the 2026 timeframe? It's the relentless stream of updates. The developers continuously inject new life into the overworld through massive content releases and targeted game drops. Over the years, we've seen drops like Chase the Skies, The Garden Awakens, and highly anticipated additions like the Tiny Takeover, introducing whole new mechanics. These constant updates ensure the game never, ever truly feels finished.
And the results of this continuous, community-focused development are simply mind-blowing. The ultimate irony of its simple pixelated graphics is that Minecraft went on to achieve over 300 million sales. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. 300 million. It reigns undisputed as the best-selling video game in human history, far outpacing anything else on the market, and bridging entire generations of players.
So, the core takeaway from our explainer today is this. A solitary programmer's little weekend project fundamentally changed the entire landscape of modern entertainment. By prioritizing player imagination, open-ended creativity, and direct community feedback over hyper-realistic graphical fidelity, Minecraft proved once and for all that engaging gameplay and ultimate freedom are what players really crave.
It's a game that gives you a completely blank canvas, whether you are battling for survival in the deepest, darkest caves or flying freely in creative mode. And that leaves us with one final, inspiring thought for you to ponder today. When there are absolutely no limits, what will your next creation be? Thank you so much for joining me on this cinematic explainer tracing the history of Minecraft. Keep exploring, keep building, and I will see you in the next one.